All right. Ready? Three, two, one, record. Oh, I guess three, two, one, intro.
Whatever.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Final Checkpoint podcast. This is episode number 63. Each week, you can find me and my cheerful co host as we react to some of the latest video game news and talk about games that we're playing. My name is Joel.
And I'm Ben.
Ben, we are officially in the next generation of consoles. This is a crazy time to be a gamer.
Yep.
Um, Kind of a weird time. I feel like we're caught in this weird in between where like plenty of people that have the new consoles are like experiencing all that stuff, where the people that don't, kind of like me, like are just kind of like in this weird like I don't know, what is it, like purgatory of like, well, like I still have stuff to play, but like, should I just wait until the next console or till I get my console, or like, what do we do with our lives?
Right.
We got this like
There,
FOMO of like, man, I know I'm missing out on all the cool like new features, but like, I know I'm gonna get to experience them. I'm not like in a hurry, so it's just like weird. It's just a weird feeling, and I haven't experienced this because I've always had the next gen console like either like as it came out, or like my PS4 I got it right before it launched because I won it in some weird contest from Sony when I worked at T-Mobile. So it's just like a weird limbo for me right now. I don't think I've ever experienced this.
Interesting. So the only consoles I've ever bought at launch were the Wii, which I camped out for, the Wii U, because I'm an idiot, um, and the Switch.
Hmm.
I think that's I think that's it, and I guess the Series X now. But yeah, so I've never bought a Microsoft console or a Sony console at launch. It's always been 9 months, 6 months later, depending, on the generation and all that. So I get that, but at the same time, I don't get it because I've always been like this. What I do understand and commiserate with is I really want to play certain games on my PS4. I don't want to play them on my PS4. Like I want it on that upgraded thing,
Yeah.
just so it's quiet, just so it loads quickly. That's what I'm missing out on. It's not necessarily any experience like, oh, I can't wait to play such and such. It's like, I can wait to play that.
Yeah.
I just want the system, especially now when it's extremely difficult to get a PlayStation 5. I haven't
It
tried to
is.
look for an Xbox since I have one.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm assuming that's also very difficult to find.
I stopped checking as soon as the PS5 came out because I was checking stock just to see how easy it would be in my area. Like, oh, let's say like I did want to just go grab one, like especially the Series S, because that's one thing that we're thinking of getting as like a gift for Christmas. And just kind of checking around. I'm like, I was doing that right before PS5 came out, and then the only thing I've been doing is checking PS5 stock, and it's completely sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was
Crazy.
a mess. I tried to get one from Walmart. They did that kind of staggered whatever
Oh yeah,
it
like
was
every
on
2 or 3 hours or something like that.
right.
Yeah.
And nope. I did get it in my cart and I did get to checkout once. Um But yeah, the checkout must have been a glitch because as soon as you tried to finish the checkout, it was like, "There's nothing here. What are you doing? This
Yeah.
is sold out." Great.
Hmm.
So that sucks, and I do assume we're only like what 3 4 days after launch of the PS5 specifically.
Yeah.
I have to assume more will pop up every week here and there, sporadically, and my guess is by January, February, you could just buy one if you want one. It won't be that difficult, I would assume,
Yeah.
but
If
we'll see.
it felt like they were talking about supply constraints, and initially people kind of brushed it off like, oh, whatever, like that's maybe you guys are just saying that to like delay the console or something, because that was the initial concern, is that they were going to delay these console releases.
Yeah.
Um, but no, it's true. They're just selling
Well,
so quickly, and they can't stock the stores quick enough.
I think there definitely were supply constraints, but you're right. It was also way more successful than
Yeah.
than anyone was anticipating. Even I think Xbox sent out this kind of press release or article. I didn't look at it, admittedly, but it was like, this is the most successful Xbox launch ever, and da da da.
Yeah.
Here's all these stats and crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, people wanted these new systems, and especially if you after you've played on one, you realize how kind of old and outdated a lot of the current systems are.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we've been ready for a new console generation. And really like it's weird when you have a jump to a new console and graphics really isn't the biggest thing we're looking at. Like, so there,
Well,
there's some things here and there, but like the biggest thing is the convenience of overall like the functionality of the system, like how quick it loads, um, how easy everything is to access, making it just overall a more efficient system. Like I feel like that's the thing people were looking forward to the most, more than just like having the games be in 4K, 60 to 120 frames, whatever.
right. I can agree with that. I do think once you've played a game, it's easy for I see a lot of console people, those console people. Um, they're like, "Well, the games already look really good, and how much better could they look?" And I look at stuff like Demon Souls
Oh
or
yeah.
even Miles Morales on PS5. It Those games look so much better than anything your PS4 can do. You're crazy if you
Yeah.
think it could. It's not that much better. Like it is. It is that much better. I don't know if I just have an eye for that. I must, I guess, if everyone can't see it, but it looks better. And even I'm playing Yakuza Like a Dragon. It is clearly running at a higher visual fidelity. Like just the
Yeah.
textures alone are really detailed.
I mean, for me, like even small differences, like playing Apex Legends on console and then playing it on PC and seeing that difference of
Right.
the like just the frames, the 60 frames compared to the 30, like it's a huge difference. Just the smoothness and just like how great and quicker the game feels. Like it does make a difference. I think I'm so excited to get one of these new consoles and try it on my 4K TV because like the only thing I've really tried is my Xbox One S, and it's just like, yeah, like stuff looks good on there, but like I really want to see the next gen games pop up on this like 75-inch 4K TV. Like
Oof.
I want to see it. I want my eyes to bleed as I'm
You
like
got to
watching it.
get Valhalla running on that
You
on
know,
next gen.
with the things I've been hearing about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like it's certainly piqued my interest. Um, it's hard to say if it's one I'm committed to because Yakuza sounds like it'd be more up my alley than Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
Because I feel like they're both long games
Yeah.
and with how long it takes me to get through most games these days, like I feel like I could really only commit to one of those. And Yakuza just seems like so much fun. And the fact that it's turn based this time around and it's a new character, so I'm not really like there's not all that baggage from all the other like iterations. It seems like the perfect one to get into.
Right. Well, I've been playing both those games, so we'll talk about that a bit later.
Sounds good.
And you could decide by the end of my impressions.
Yeah. So let's talk about how these launches went. With
No one
our
was murdered that I know of.
That's good, yeah. So topic of the
That's
show
positive.
is gonna be a ton of random tidbits about next gen, which we were already kind of talking about.
Yes.
Um, but Ben,
I mean, I could start it with my Series X,
perfect, yeah. Let's go with
um,
that.
which I got whatever the hell day that was. It feels like I've had it for a week, which is almost true, I guess.
Yeah, it came out
Um,
Tuesday, right? Monday?
yeah,
Tuesday?
Tuesday, and
Yeah,
I got
Tuesday.
it from someone at work who had an extra pre-order, and he actually delivered it to me because he was going to be in the area
Oh, nice.
at work. Like surprisingly, just like, oh, I'm here. Hey, here you go.
You're like, back
So
away.
I
Where's your
had it.
mask?
I had it that we had masks on.
Okay, good.
I had it at the Tuesday night. I had it, and I work overnights, so that was my beginning of my day. So then I had the rest of my day Tuesday really to
Nice.
screw around with it. Haven't done that much with it. I
Okay.
did transfer a bunch of games over from my other Xbox over the Wi-Fi, which takes forever. I recommend just putting it on a hard drive and doing it.
Yeah.
Um, but that
Pretty.
works seamlessly.
I
You
was gonna
can use the
say
console as it's going.
nice.
Um, that no issues there. I tried out Banjo Kazooie. I tried out Geometry Wars last night just to see how that worked, and those work fine.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's not a lot of loading time in either of those games to
Yeah.
see if they're improved, but that works without a hitch. Quick resume worked on Banjo Kazooie even after I turned off the system. However, quick resume has not worked with Tetris Effect if I've turned off the system,
Hmm.
and I think even if with it still on.
Really.
I I'd have to double check that, but yeah, it didn't. I think I only launched it 2 or 3 times. Um, so that's an issue. Quick resume has also not worked with Yakuza when from the disc. So I have it from GameFly, right? Um, and when I turned off the console, turned it back on, it did not quick resume into Yakuza. However, when I accidentally started the Master Chief Collection because I don't know what buttons do, and I
Oops.
canceled out of that and then went to go back to Yakuza, it did quick resume back into that.
Okay,
So
that's good.
I don't know if it's just like you're running it off the disc and you turned off your system, or you're downloading a bunch of games from your other console and that's confusing things. So that remains
Mm.
to be seen. However, Quick Resume is perfect for those moments where I was playing Yakuza and then it popped up and said, "Hey, Geometry Wars is done." And I was like, "I want to play Geometry Wars." So I
Yeah.
just closed out of that, played Geometry Wars, and then went back to Yakuza without a hitch. You know, you're back in there in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. It's not that big of a deal if I have to start the game over. I just have to wait for the splash screens and the loading. I think the longest loading time I've had in that game is maybe 4 seconds.
Oh my
Maybe.
god.
The majority of them are like the screen fades to black, and half the time the loading bar doesn't even appear. Um,
That's crazy.
Yakuza is not exactly a. It's not Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'll put it that way. It's not
Right.
that level of fidelity or complexity, but having those fast load times, especially in a game like Yakuza, that it'll have a cutscene and then a little load at the end of the cutscene, and then you're playing, and then another cutscene will load. So there's kind of these little loads throughout, and having those just be fade out, fade back in
Yeah.
is a lot better than
That's so
the
cool.
5-10 seconds. Yeah, it's really cool.
That is pretty cool. I keep hearing that setting up the system itself is pretty seamless if you use the app. Did you use that or did you just set it up from the console itself using your
I
controller?
did because someone talked about it on a podcast, so I thought, why not? I'm gonna get these apps. I've never used the apps before,
Yeah.
but it basically started up. It had a number on my TV. You type in the number on the app in your phone, and the console starts updating, downloading off the internet after you select the network and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm on my phone setting the settings, like, oh, import this. This is my account. It boots up. It has my same home screen and everything that I had previously, the same layout and all of that. That is a negative, I think, for the Xbox, where if you have been using an Xbox, you boot this up and it's like, well, I have an Xbox again. It doesn't have that new
Yeah.
console smell in that way.
I mean, I think some people would see it as like not exciting, but I think for people that love the familiarity of that, and
Sure.
I think maybe some people don't want to deal with having to relearn a whole new system. Plus the fact that everything just works so seamless and it feels like, hey, look, it just works. All my stuff is there. I can just turn it on, get right back to my games, and just experience my new console. Like I can see the upsides to it, but like you're right. I think there is some of that taken away without having this brand new experience that you're going into.
There's no wow factor, and I talked about this last week. The One X, the UI runs really well on it. It runs so smooth. So
Yeah.
playing it on the Series X, it's not even like I noticed that much of a difference. Like, oh, it's a little faster, but it already ran so well. I don't know how much faster it could have gotten. You're really gonna notice the speed improvements with um, the games, right?
Yeah. And it
I
the UI runs really well on the 1S. Like cuz I've been using it a lot this weekend. My kids use it all the time and they have tons of like weird games downloaded on it. And Like I can switch in and out of games quickly. Like, you know, sometimes on PlayStation you click into a game on accident, kind of like how you were talking about. You're like, oh shit, I
Yeah.
clicked on Halo. Well, like on PlayStation, you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can actually hit the PS button to get out of it,
Oh,
and
to
you have to
get back,
wait
yeah.
and wait. Where Xbox, like I accidentally clicked into Destiny when I meant to go click into Tetris, and I just clicked the X button again, home, back into Tetris, and like I didn't have to really wait for any lag. Everything just works smoothly, and so like I think that speaks highly of their software and just their UI of
Yeah.
how well it always works. So yeah, it's pretty
Not to
good.
shit on Sony, but I have two shit on Sony things. I was watching Jonathan Dornbush play Demon Souls,
Mhm.
and at the very end of him playing Demon Souls, it just crashed for
Oh
no
man,
reason.
it's such a I've
I
that
was like, oh, wow.
that's another thing to
Okay.
really one thing we should kind of comment about is I've been seeing so many people talk about um just their PlayStation 5 like crashing or breaking or hey,
Yeah, well,
it
there's
shut off on this part on what is it? What were they playing? I think Miles Morales. And then
Miles.
yeah, and then even when one of my friends he just got a PS5 and he was playing I think Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and his system like shut off, and then he was able to get it back on and stuff, but then he was also reading up that there was a ton of reports about it. And this happens, but
Right.
it's just like the thing you don't like for Sony. You're kind of like, man, you guys are already walking a pretty thin line with everything that's happened so far with the communication on the console. Got the
Yeah.
console out, and then it's like, oh no, like something's gonna happen.
They're having a lot of issues I've seen with external hard drives, people booting them up with
Mm,
the hard drive plugged in. And it's like, oh, I got to rebuild the database and all this crap.
yeah,
It's not great. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure most people, if you're not doing that and you're just downloading and playing a game, I'm sure there's no issues.
yeah.
It's like the disc issue. There's the Xbox One.
Oh
There
yeah,
have
yeah,
been reports of the disc like not taking discs, and I admittedly I've only put one disc into it, Yakuza, but
yeah.
it is a little weird. It almost like I had to stick it in a little further than I would have thought, and then it really aggressively sucked it in. It's like, oh shit.
They wanted it.
It really did. So that remains to be determined. I do play a lot of movies,
Okay.
so I will not this week, but at some point in the future, because I was watching all the Batman movies, which most of them I own on Blu-ray. So I was using them on Xbox, but now that I have the X, I don't have any discs to run on it. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll watch a movie today. Who
Yeah.
knows? Um, but that sucks because I really like playing all these games on GameFly
That's
for
true.
less money.
Yeah.
But that we'll see if that's an issue. And Xbox seems to be very on top of things and saying, hey, if you have an issue, reach out to our support. All that. I'm confident in them doing that. Oh, I didn't even mention with the Series X. You open that up, the box.
Yeah.
It's such a great box opening experience.
I've seen like 20 box openings. Why didn't you
It's
film one?
I'm extremely lazy. Also, it would have
Oh,
been like 6:30 in the morning
you're like, it's a
on launch
private
day.
moment between me and my Xbox.
Yeah, I was naked, and
Why? That's
let's
so
just say it was
weird.
a real triple Xbox.
Oh
So
Jesus.
it opens up really well, which is a weird weird sentence.
Yeah, this
Um,
whole sentence can be taken out of
no,
context.
it's displayed perfectly in the center of this box. You
Yeah.
take it out, and it's got like compartments for the cables and the controller. It's so fancy. Like this is peak Apple product level of display. And you look at the PlayStation 5 and it's like we stuck it in a box.
It's got
Like,
like two
oh,
foam pieces on the edge, and then it's got
right. I
like
mean, there's
some
foam.
some foam wrapped around it. You're lucky to
There's
get like
foam.
you're lucky that there's a box in there to hold all the other shit.
Yeah, there's foam in the Xbox
Oh
box,
gosh.
to be clear. But it's like all around
It's
it.
all
It's
around
super
the other
nice.
well-packaged, compressed stuff that's gonna keep your console from shaking around. Where like it seems like the PlayStation 5 packaging and everything, it seems like things could go wrong and things are very flimsy in there, which I
It
don't
actually
know, but
was
like it just looked kind of odd.
It does. It's very similar to what they've done before. Like they did the same thing with all the PS4s. Is that same two side panels?
Is
There's
it?
kind of a lot of wiggle in the middle that you could squish in.
I could have.
Um,
I might have to. I still have my PlayStation 4 box. I'll have to check it. I thought that it came with. So there was the outer box, and then inside there was a box that slid out, and you open it, and it
right.
had the PlayStation 4 in there, which had bet. I could have swore it had better packaging than the PS5. I don't know. Maybe they just ran out of time.
I don't know. I haven't watched too closely on the unboxings,
Yeah.
but the
I
Xbox is great.
generally skip unboxings, but this time I was curious to see like just how they packaged everything
The
because people had
PS5
made comments about it.
unboxings I watched just to see how big it is.
Yeah.
Which is actually something I should bring up about the Xbox. Smaller than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It looks nice. Um, it's also thinner. I didn't realize it was like a cube. You know what I mean? Like it's a tall cube. I didn't realize that. I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be longer and not like a weird creeper from Minecraft or something.
Yeah, looking at that image of the GameCube on top of the Xbox Series X,
Right.
I mean,
It's
as
like
long
two
as
GameCubes.
yeah, it definitely made me think, wow, this console is actually pretty slim. I think it looks pretty cool. I think so. I was listening to GameSpot After Dark, and they were doing their console debate,
Hmm.
and I thought that there's a good they debated about the look of the console and like, oh, it's got the sleek Xbox look, and I forgot his name. I think it was Travis. He was arguing or debating for the PlayStation side, and he didn't really bring anything. Like he just kind of like agreed. And it's like, oh man, you should have at least argued with the fact that yes, Xbox has to make a box because they're Xbox, right? But Sony came out with this crazy looking design because they always do, and that's just who they are. And they just love to do that. They're flashy as hell. They're crazy. That's just Sony. And I thought that's when I look at that console, I kind of laugh because I'm like, this thing looks like a fucking like Pokemon or like one of the weird Pokemon. They have like the gear one that spins around, or like there's the
Right.
garbage one. Like there's always a weird looking Pokemon. Like this would be one of those that's just marching
It looks
around
like
in the grass somewhere.
it looks like the sequel to Bug Snacks, where it's just like inanimate object snacks,
Yeah,
where it's like it should have googly eyes, and then it would be a bug snack.
it could be
Like
it
there's
could
a
be
microwave with eyes.
it could be an enemy from like Final Fantasy, like just one that you encounter. It's like
Or
floating in
Kingdom
the air.
Hearts.
Or Kingdom Hearts, yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be definitely more Kingdom Hearts for sure.
It's very Kingdom Hearts villain,
Yeah,
like a lesser villain.
yeah.
I hate the look. I've said this several times. I have stuff at the ready to put in front of it, so I don't have to see it, and I will dress it up as a penguin. I have plans for that already.
Perfect. All right.
I'm very excited. There was one thing I wanted to mention. You've probably done this on PS4, where you go to look at your hard drive and how much space it's using up.
Oh yeah. Well, I stopped looking a while ago, but
Sure,
I
but
used to obsess about it all the time.
you've done it and you've looked at that menu, and it takes like a minute to load
It takes
all the
forever.
games and how big they are.
Calculating your storage space or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did that on the Xbox, and not even the Series X. I did this on the Xbox One X,
Mm.
and it takes like half a second.
I just like shouldn't the system know? Like I don't understand why it
Exactly.
does that. Like
You
I've
you
always
literally you just go on the Xbox and you select, "Hey, filter by size," and it just instantly does it. And I'm like, "Wow, Sony, okay.
I always thought that was so weird about the PlayStation. Like, why are you recalculating? Like, you should just
What did you
know
put?
how much space is taken up. Like, I
What
can
could you
look at my
possibly be calculating?"
I can look at my phone and it tells me how much space I have left. Like, this is crazy.
Right, it's insane. I don't know, maybe it's probably better on the PS5, I would assume. It's a lot better, but it was funny to do that on now last gen Xbox, and it just worked instantly. Like, oh
Yeah.
shit. I was expecting this to be a task, but
Yeah.
no.
I've been hearing a lot of things about the PlayStation 5 that makes me think that they still kind of brought over a lot of weird like issues from the PS4, which maybe they can update some of that stuff out. Who knows? Like the whole like copying a download file takes a long time still for some
Mhm.
reason, and you can't really do that in the background like you can on Xbox, where if you're like downloading and installing a game, you can still
Right.
play other stuff. um I know Jeff Gersman from Giant Bomb was talking about that. He was having issues where his I think his cloud saves weren't coming down. He was having issues with the database rebuilding because the system shut off. Like just some like PS4 carryover almost, and it's just kind of odd. One thing they did say is like if you are transferring saves from PS4 to PS5, it doesn't do it automatically. I guess you have to download them from the cloud. Like you have to upload
Right.
them obviously, but then you have to go in and manually download them, which is I don't know. It's
Not great.
yeah, not great. I mean, like so there are certain games that I do plan on playing, like continuing to play on PS5, like like Fallout 76, Control, because I do plan on picking that up and continuing where I left off. Neo 2, things like that. So I'll need those saves. But I always think about it like my phone. Like when I get a new iPhone, I don't the only thing I ever transfer are my contacts. My phones or my photos and stuff like that are usually going to be backed up on, the iCloud or whatever. So I typically don't want to drag over everything else. Like please don't send over my text
Right.
messages, like my apps, none of that. Like I can do whatever, like I can do all that shit. I don't want all the baggage from my old system. So I always think about that with like this, like I'm thinking about that with this console because how people are transferring everything. And I'm like, what if there's something from that system that you bring over that fucks up your new console? Like I always have that fear.
Hmm. It's possible.
Yeah. Especially with Sony, because their software, you just never know with that. With their
Yeah.
damn software.
Yeah. I do like their UI and all that a lot, but
Yeah.
I can't count on them in a lot of ways.
Yeah, one thing I was impressed by, and there's a video circulating on Twitter, the activity cards where this one guy was looking at it. He was looking at Miles Morales. He went to the activity cards that are right below the game, and there was like one that says start the mission. The next one was like, I think it was like talking about the achievements or something that he's tracking, and he just clicked right from the mission one. It took maybe 4 seconds, loaded him right to the start of that mission to like basically start from his last checkpoint,
Hmm.
which was pretty cool. And I was like, oh shit, God, this like that alone impressed me so much. I was just like, man, I like this next generation console is gonna be so cool.
Right. That is cool. And they talked about that with Destruction All Stars, where you could, but I mean, I would assume this would work on Fortnite or anything too, where you
Mhm.
can start the card as like, put me in the lobby, like, put me in the lobby for a deathmatch. That's where I want to be. And that's really neat,
Yeah,
like you're saying. I
yeah.
don't know how much I'll use that, but it is a nice feature if you wanted to start in a particular area and just get there. That's nice.
Yeah, they did have something like that on PS4, but it never worked. So if someone was
That's good.
playing Call of Duty, right, and you see it like join game, and that never works because they're always like in a new session or in a new like
Uh,
lobby or something like that. So that shit never really worked from there. It might work if you have a faster hard drive like you do on the PlayStation 4, where like if you go and it refreshes and it says like, hey, join lobby or join game, like this time I know I'm gonna instantly try to join them instead of it being like, oh, it's loading up the game, the
yeah.
logos, oh, it's pulling all this data. It's like, oh, okay, now you're signing on to multiplayer servers. Okay, now you can try to join. Nope, lobby's
No,
full. And you're
it
like,
doesn't
what the
exist.
fuck?
Damn it.
You lied. You said I could
You
join
lied to me,
game.
Sony.
Yeah, so that might actually work now.
That'd be good.
Times have changed.
It is nice. And I will say, if you've never if you've never experienced SSD fast loading, whatever on a PC, it is crazy to see it
Yeah.
on console. Like you're gonna be blown away.
Yeah, I
However,
have not. I have not
you
experienced
have.
it.
See, you have, Joel, because even if you play a game on a normal hard drive on a PC, it's like twice as fast as a PS4. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
it is you're not gonna notice as much. Because since I've been playing PC games for a while now, and one of the main reasons was loading time for like, oh, I'll buy that indie game on PC because it's on sale, and also I don't have to wait 4 hours for it to load.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Uh, Going to a Series X and playing something like Yakuza, I don't necessarily notice. I know if I play this game on my PC, it's gonna run like this. I'm not blown away. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. It's fast and great. But like I'm playing Valhalla and I got that on PC and it loads just as fast as the PS5 does. Like I
Nice.
and granted, I did buy one of the nice M2 drives to put it on.
Yeah.
But when you're fast traveling and it's like 6 seconds, 8 seconds, and you look at the console, like the PS4 fast travel time, and it's like a minute or 45 seconds or
You're like
something.
throwing your shoe at it.
Yeah, and I haven't experienced that in years because I stopped playing games like this on console
Yeah.
because of that. And if you're going from a minute and a half to get into the game to 15 seconds, you're going to be blown away. It's super cool, super impressive. For me personally, it's like, no, this is how games have loaded for years and how they should load. I'm glad we're finally here.
Yeah.
Um, so that's like, yeah, that's the big thing for me. I'm like, this isn't super exciting because I've had this, but if you've never had it, it's super cool.
Yeah. I'm excited.
You
Can't wait.
should be excited.
Yes.
You want to know a couple more
super.
things you should be excited for?
Yeah, let's go. Let's hit
So we
it.
got a tiny bit of PlayStation news.
PlayStation.
PlayStation. In the first half of the year, we are expected to get Gran Turismo 7
Zoom zoom.
and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. It took a while, but I
Yeah.
remembered it.
In my head, I was thinking Fractures in Time. I don't know why.
I was thinking like Fractured Butthole. No, that's South
Nope,
Park.
that's definitely South Park.
That's definitely South Park. So that's cool. That's first half of the year. I obviously Ratchet was launch window, is what they said. I would imagine that one comes first, and then GT7. I don't know, like May or something around that time.
Yeah.
And with that news also came with Horizon coming in the last half of the year,
I always forget the name of
which
that sequel.
Forbidden West.
Horizon Forbidden West. Yep. Damn.
And that one's interesting because it's also a PS4 game, and because they just wouldn't keep their damn mouth shut. And we believe
Yep.
much almost a PS4 game and a PS5 game. They doubled down on that, and they weren't not. And they were lying. It's just that they just did. No, that is what that is. That was lying. Boy.
Ooh, you're cutting out pretty bad for me.
Okay, I saw I was bad, so I kept talking. Have a good recording.
Okay, cool.
Let me see if I can do that. But that real quick here.
Oh, you sound better now.
Great.
Of course. So I guess like how do you feel like launch games really made a huge difference this time around with all the backwards compatibility?
In terms of like launch lineup, it is certainly a great launch lineup because we have all these other titles that are getting updates like Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
or Call of Duty. It's like, what's
Call
the name
of
of that game?
Duties. Damn well Call of
Duty.
Duties.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It's we've been talking about it. Like this is the best PlayStation launch lineup. I don't see any argument against it. I don't know how you could say it's not since it
Yeah.
had backwards compatibility and all that shit
Oh yeah, for
for
sure.
games that just came out. Like that's duh.
Yeah, plus that PlayStation Plus collection, and I mean,
Yeah,
it's really hard to argue that for sure.
I feel like that's obvious. I do want to go back to the Horizon thing that I was cutting out on that you couldn't hear, but anyone listening to this would be able to hear. Uh, I strongly think God of War will be delayed out of next year. And I still think that's a cross-gen game. They made some comment
Hmm.
about what is it? We're going to support the PS4 until 2022 or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And I really think that's a cross-gen game, and it's going to be really funny to see all these Sony fans just fucking lie and be like, "No, it's fine. It's great for the gamers," after they yelled and bitched at Halo Infinite for a year. Like, this shouldn't be cross-gen. It should be cross-gen. And then Sony does it, and it's fine.
Yeah.
And make up your mind. Okay? Is it fine or it's not fine?
Yeah. I
Do
mean,
you think that'll be next year? Do you think God of War will make next year?
I don't think it will. I think it'll be 2022, maybe. I mean, I could see it even going a little bit, closer to the
Further?
end of 2022 because That game, like, I feel like that game is so recent still that like you almost don't want it to come out too soon. I feel
Right.
like you gotta let other studios really have their time and bring out something before you hit us with another God of War. Because
I
like I love
mm,
God of War, but like it's just when it's everything's so in your face all the time, like you almost have too much of it. Kind of like Cyberpunk. Like enough of it. Like just enough Cyberpunk. I don't even want to see another Nightfire City Wire shit.
there's another one.
I don't care. I don't watch them. I don't care. I don't even want to hear. I don't want to hear that they're enjoyable. I just want them to go away. I just like don't want
Right.
to see any more of that game. Same thing like Spider-Man's cool because they actually brought out something new. But then that's it. Like I don't want to see anything else about Spider-Man for a long time. Like they just need to go away for a while.
I think if God of War Ragnarok, which I believe is the title,
Yeah.
if that comes out next year, it is a Miles Morales 15-hour. It is not a
Yeah.
full God of War 2. That's what I think, and I think the fact that we even saw it so soon is also possible evidence of that.
Yeah.
We shall see.
I think like the big thing is we're so used to seeing sequels really do something huge on the next game.
Mm.
Um that
Well, that, yeah,
that it's I really want to see them do something different with God of not like different from God of War, but like I want this game to do something bigger than it just did
I
because it's
that's
so
the
good.
bummer about Horizon, where it's like I would rather this just be a PS5
Yeah.
only game, in that I know you didn't have to make any constraints at
Yeah.
all. You could just be let loose, and that's the same thing for Halo Infinite, where yeah, it is going to be dumbed down in air quotes because it has to run. I trust Xbox to do it more, just because they're like, put everything on PC, make it scalable. Like, they're
Yeah.
more into that environment and ecosystem. And you look at something like the Horizon port on PC, where it's like, well, this is improved, but it also doesn't run great. Like, it's not very optimized well. So I don't necessarily trust Sony as a cross-gen developer in the same way I would trust Microsoft, who puts out Gears Tactics on like 4 systems. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we just do this and it works. Like, okay, cool. I don't know. We'll
There's
see. I'm excited for that. And
yeah.
speaking of Horizon, AC Valhalla really reminds me of Horizon, in particular because Eivor looks like Aloy.
Oh
Eivor and
jeez.
Aloy.
Eivor and Aloy.
I didn't realize that until just
Oh
now.
my gosh. That's
But,
funny. Yeah,
well,
I've seen a few like gameplay streams of it and
mhm,
it looks really good. And like I like that it doesn't seem overwhelming when you look at the map to see like a billion fucking icons
right.
for all this side shit. Like it just seems like a much better kind of like not grounded, but like just a bit more squished together. And
Well, do
there's
you
even
want to
like
talk about?
there's like a little bit of a settlement
Yes.
thing. So, yeah,
Do you
I
want to
guess we
talk
can do
about
that.
Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, let's. I guess
Okay.
we could just get into games we're playing. We don't have much other news to talk about other than that.
No, nothing. That was the news.
Cool. Do 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 do.
Yeah.
I'll have to cut that out. We're not
Yeah.
stealing it. Swear to
I
God.
don't think they stole it from IGN. We could steal it back.
Okay, cool. All right.
Cut that out. You're not gonna cut shit out.
I'll just
Uh,
add some what's it called? Some what is it? That stuff that I don't even know the guy's name.
I,
Some auto tune. I'll add some auto tune to it.
oh,
There
okay.
we
I was
go.
thinking modulation,
Yeah, we
but
could do that too.
that's kind of the same thing.
Anyways.
I don't think that was the issue with that, but okay.
Okay, cool. All right. AC Valhalla.
Yes, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I've played maybe 12 hours. Maybe I think about that. I just got out of the first area and into England.
Oh, okay.
Because the first area is kind of the tutorial area and it's all snowy and whatever, blah blah blah. And then you go to England and it's not snowy and it's got very colorful. It's like, oh shit, there's colorful here. And I just got to the base, but I don't have the settlement. I can't upgrade anything yet. I'm setting it up. I'm settling the
You're
settlement. I
okay.
guess.
You're just getting settled in.
I'm settling into the settlement. It's upsettling. And it's remarkable because we both played Origins, right?
Yeah.
And did you beat Origins?
No, I ended up just really liking.
You played a lot of it.
Yeah, I played a lot of it, and I just really liked the character, and I just liked where the story was going. I think I just ended up not having enough time to get through it.
Got it. Yeah, Origins was excellent. This is the same team as Origins,
Nice. Okay.
and I think that's pretty apparent because I played about maybe 8 or 10 hours of Odyssey, and but most of that, well, all of that was on Stadia because it was like a free thing. This was before it was called Stadia, and so that's definitely part of it of why I might not have enjoyed that game as much. But I really didn't like it. I really didn't like Odyssey. There was, like you mentioned, there's just stuff everywhere, and you're constantly bombarded by, hey, there's an assassin in the area. He's hunting for you. Like,
Yeah.
can I just like explore at all? And you'd see an encampment, and it would pop up like there's a captain, and there's 2 treasure chests, and there's this and there's that, and it was just nonsense. It felt like if you have ADD, it felt like your nightmare. Like
Yeah.
it was awful. It's just way too much stimulation, way too much going on, way too much level gating shit. Uh, and I feel like with this game, given that it's the Origins team and not Odyssey, they made the perfect Assassin's Creed game for me, where like you look around and there's just blips on the map and there's just a few of them, and you have to kind of find them and go look for them. It doesn't pop up on the screen and say, "Hey, there's another treasure chest here. You want to find it?" You might miss it, and it might be fine. It's not
Yeah.
that big of a deal. It doesn't feel like putting it on the screen and saying like 2 of 3 almost pressures you into doing it because you're like, "I want to complete this. I want to do it. I want to do it." But just having it in the world is such a better solution for me where like, okay, I didn't get that. Oh, I missed one there. Well, maybe I'll come back and get it. I don't feel that pressure. I feel like there's something over there. Let me explore. Let me climb this mountain and get to that and see what's over there. Cool. And you're kind of led by your own whims and fancy of sending out the raven and going, oh, there's a thing over there. Cool. Let me put that on the map. Like look at all of them to put them on the map and then go there and do it. And I love that loop. It feels like the combat is so much more uh not level gated where you're just gonna it is level gated to an extent for sure. And it does still have RPG elements for the skill tree and items and all that. But I fought this guy and it had like a skull on it and he was very difficult and I failed a couple times. He was like this boss event dude. But I could sit there and kind of figure it out and try it and it wasn't insurmountable.
Hmm. Okay.
And also with that, they got rid of the Odyssey system of giving you items and just here's 17 different weapons all the time
Yeah.
and all these different pieces of armor. That's basically all gone. I've played the game like 12 hours and I have maybe 6 weapons and a couple of them are axes and one's like a flail and one's a knife. I'm actually using this short, like maybe it's a short sword, not a knife, but I'm using it because it's super quick and I just go up and stab people like stab, 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 and then I run
Stabbies.
away.
Stabbies.
It's really fun because they kind of get like stun locked. Some of the enemies, the
Oh,
basic enemies,
nice.
it's really funny. Uh, so I love that, and I used the flail for a little bit. It was just too slow, but it was really cool. Um, I like that. I like that I'm upgrading these pieces of equipment and getting attached to them and putting runes on them instead of, well, let me loot this body. Oh, it has a pair of pants. Okay, there's a new pair of pants. Let me look at the pants. Oh, is that better? Yes, that's a better pair of pants. Like it doesn't have the Diablo-esque loot,
Okay.
which is actually, as much as I love Diablo, I feel like is a negative for Odyssey because it's just another system on top of 75 other systems.
Yeah.
This is much pared down and simple and lets you play the game. That's the big focus of this is you can just go in a direction like Breath of the Wild. Pick a direction and go there and explore and have fun and discover treasure and all this stuff and you don't feel pulled away of like, oh, I got to manage my inventory or I got to do this other thing or oh, there's this guy's going on, oh, I'm being hunted by this, oh god, what, like it doesn't do that. It just lets you play the game, and it's so much fun to explore because of that.
Yeah.
I've loved having a few things on the map and going and doing them and completing it. And the reason why I spent so much time in that first area was I wanted to complete all the I think they're called mysteries. I don't remember, but they're like the blue squares on the on the map. Like all the little blue sections are these little mystery things that happen. Uh and they're side quests, right? But they're like
Yeah.
dynamic, not dynamic, but they don't you get to them and it doesn't pop up on the screen and go like side quest started and like follow the dude and has a little number on him. It'll be a guy and he's like, there's this person up to no good over here. You got to come help me. And you're like, okay. And you like Red Dead 2 did. And you just follow him. And then the quest happens. And then it says, like, you did it. It's over. That's the only time you get any feedback of you're doing something. And it feels so much more natural as opposed to you just found a quest. You want to follow the quest? Hey, the guy's 10 feet away from you. You got to talk to him again. Like,
Oh god, yeah.
you
That
know what I
stuff
mean?
was stupid.
The first one I ran into, well, I went to this town and he had a little marker over his head. And I, like, okay, cool. I can clearly talk to you. So I talked to him. I thought he was a vendor. That's why I talked to him. He's like, I want to sell some stuff or buy some stuff. Like, this is my first town. I'm going to go shopping. And he's like, oh, look at all these crazy wares I have. I got this helmet. I got this axe. It's the such and such axe of super killing. And Avor's like, that's my dad's axe. I know you stole it from the battlefield, you son of a bitch. He's like, oh no. I didn't do anything. I didn't betray you guys. Nope. And she's like, nah, you did. And he runs away. He gets scared and runs away. And none of this is like this is all just talking to the person normally. Nothing pops up on the screen. He just runs away. And I go to chase after him, and a bunch of guards come at me. So he had bodyguards. So I fight the bodyguards. And I'm like, I don't know where this guy went. The game does not telling me, hey, he's over here. I even looked at the quest screen. I couldn't find there was no active quest. It was just he's gone. All right, fine. So then I explore the town more. I do like some side things. I might have even played the drinking game or whatever. I'm doing
Yeah.
other shit. And then I see him, and I think Eivor makes a comment of like, "There he is." I'm like, oh shit, that is him. So I chase after him again, and I kill him. I could have captured him. I don't know, but I killed him. He was running away real fast. So I just shot him with an arrow. Like, you
Nice.
need to guess. And before that, actually, I was exploring back at his hut, and I found a treasure chest, and it was locked. And that's when I remembered, oh, that guy's still in this town somewhere. That's why I was paying attention. Anyway, I kill him. I get the key. I go back to the treasure chest. I open it up. Like mystery, whatever, solved, whatever it is, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And it does a little notch, like, oh, I completed an event. I completed a world event, basically.
Huh.
And I got some items. I got some cool stuff. I got experience. And that was when I realized, like, this game's fucking awesome.
Oh
Just
man.
having these emergent, they feel so natural. They feel like the people on the side of the road in Red Dead 2.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
I
God, you just reminded me of that too. Those were so good.
It's so cool. So that's why I did that. There's probably like 12 of those events in that first area. And I just went around and did them all. And I explored the vast majority of that entire first area because it was so fun to see all these events and find a cave that someone was in. There was this one where there's this girl who lost her comb in the water. Like she threw her comb in the river. And it's like there's these suitors trying to find it so that they can spend time with her. And the game just pops up and it's just on the map. It doesn't tell you, hey, the comb's over there. I had to read a note and go like, solve a riddle. How would I get? Oh, okay. Like I understand. Let me go there and dive into the thing and find exactly where it is, and I bring it back, and that solves the quest. And there's a cutscene with it. It feels so natural, and you can leave, and it's not like desynchronized,
Oh
and you
yeah.
failed.
You failed the quest, and then it just loads you
Yeah,
back into some random like area.
yeah, some random 20 minutes back. Like, shit. And it does that with treasure too, where like I know there's a treasure chest in this room, but how do I get into it? And you'll look around and then see an opening, like a window at the very top. Like, oh, that's how I get in. Or like that, I looks like I can shoot it, and you shoot an arrow into it, and it breaks open, and then you can walk through or climb through. It does that. It's so smart. It's so good. So much fun to explore. And I just finally got to England, and I cannot wait to explore more of England. It's so good. I love this game. I really love this
Dang.
game.
All
I
right.
love doing the combat. You get like a bunch of moves right away, and you're like, and it gives you enough stuff fairly quickly. So I'm like throwing axes at people, and limbs are flying, and it's so good. It's so much fun. I said at the very top, they it feels like they made this game exactly for me how I want to play it, where I follow a couple main quest things and then I do side stuff like along the way, or oh, this main quest over here. Let me just do all the side stuff along the way, and then all side stuff along the way back, and that works perfectly. There's a dice game that's really cool. I've enjoyed that a lot. The flighting, which is like they geared it as like battle rap or something, or like Norse rap battles, and it's
Hmm.
more like slam poetry. I don't know why they call it rap. It's like clearly slam poetry,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's really cool, and it's like a fun little mini game. I thought I was gonna hate it. You also kind of have to do it because it increases your charisma, which will affect dialogue choices and stuff.
yeah.
It's awesome, and the stuff with the boat. It's not like, hey, you want to do combat on the boat? I'm like, nah, not really. There's been no combat on the boat, but I have my whole crew, and I can just do boat shit. It's awesome. Yeah, I
Nice.
really think they married Origins with kind of that Breath of the Wild, free roam, go at your own pace, do whatever nature. It's so much fun. The reason why I haven't played more Yakuza is because I want to play more Assassin's Creed. It is extremely good. I love the story. I love the characters that are going on with it. Dude, when the assassins show up, it's only a couple hours in. The assassin or not Yeah, they're not called the assassins yet because this is like the first game
Yeah.
chronologically. When they show up, it was such a like Avengers moment of like, yes, what? Oh, I'm gonna get this is so cool. It's so good, and there's like
Oh man, you're like pumping me
politics
up for
going on
this.
with it. I'm telling you, you gotta play this because I know you liked Origins. This is so much more like Origins, but they nailed it. They really they this is it might be it's my favorite Assassin's Creed game so
Yeah.
far for sure. But the second one probably being Origins. Um, is easily my top 5 games of the year. I think at this point, I want to play more of it, but I am loving this game uh, so much.
Dang.
It's that perfect just explore, play a podcast, and go nuts for donuts without having to worry about all these nonsense. They just trimmed all the fat off Odyssey, and left you with exactly what you want to do constantly. No filler, no garbage, and even the extra stuff that you don't have to do, it doesn't feel like, hey, you didn't do this, idiot. It just feels like, no, I didn't do it, but maybe I'll come back. Maybe not. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's like low pressure, low stress, so much fun. You can throw fire at people. I have had a fair amount of glitches, um, where this one time, like all this stuff caught fire, but I couldn't see the fire, which is
Hmm.
which is a problem
Yeah.
when you're trying
Invisible
to
fire is never good.
when you're trying to not be on fire. Invisible fire is deadly,
Yeah.
and I did burn alive, so that's an issue. Sometimes bodies will kind of go flying when you kill them. They just kind of bounce like wee.
I see that as a good feature.
I'd say that it's a good thing too. That's a
Yeah.
definite positive. um, yeah, I've loved it. And sneaking up, the stealth kind of feels like it's taking a back seat
Yeah.
for sure. You can still do it. You can still sneak around. It's awesome. It's so cool to get to an area and know there's a treasure chest and be like, how do I get to that? And it's not like I know it's here somewhere. It's not just pinpointed exactly for you. You can kind of see it. You're looking around. How do I get to? You're figuring it out, and it's not super difficult. And you solve it, and you feel like a cool person, genius man. It's so good. I love that game. Love it. So
Nice.
excited.
Cool. I'm excited to probably play it now. So I think you've sold me on it. Shall we
Good.
talk about Tetris Effect
Yeah, you've played more than
Connected?
me.
Yes. I love this game. I'm not a big fan of Tetris. Like, I think the last time I played this much Tetris was when Tetris 99 came out. And then before that, when it was the only game I had on my original Game Boy back in like,
1996.
yeah, like, and this game, I didn't play Tetris Effect on PSVR when it came out or whatever. And I kind of regret it now because this is such a beautiful, cool experience. Like when I play it, other than playing it on stream yesterday, like I turn off the lights and I turn the music up and I play the shit out of it. And there, as you saw me like struggling, like there are some speeds in that mode or in that journey mode that are so damn hard. And so after I beat that one in area 3, which is it's the last level in area 3, which got you to like I think speed 11, I think was the top speed. When you're in area 4, the last level there gives you speed, you go to like speed 9 or 10 and then it shoots you to speed 12. And holy crap, that took me like 30 attempts to finally beat it. And I had probably lost on that level like 4 times with like 1 line left. Like I needed 1 more line and I lost. It's so hard because they're just coming down. Like it's not even like you can't even really see and plan what's coming. It's just like they're coming down. Like you're just like, oh shit. Like you barely have enough time to rotate it. Like it was nuts. But I've been having a good time with the journey mode, which is basically the single player. And then I tried out multiplayer last night. And I don't know if you've had a chance to try multiplayer, but
No.
there's a few modes in it. The only one I really tried was the 3v1 mode, which is basically you kind of like queue up in a lobby, and you can either be in position 1, 2, or 3, or you can choose to be the boss. Basically, whoever chooses to be the boss will send all of like the challenging, like I guess, effects over to the people that are on the team that are teamed up, the other 3 people. The 3 people that are together are basically just trying to get lines together, and then once there's a certain point where they're all connected, all 3 screens, and so it's you, 2 other people, your whole screen is connected, and you're putting lines, like you're using all 3 of you are using your blocks to get as many lines as possible across all 3 screens, so that when that moment is gone of your screens being connected, you send all your lines over to the boss, hoping that that'll take him out. And I was having a good time with it. It's pretty fun. If you come across somebody who's really good at being boss, though, like they'll hit you with there's one that's like Tetris pop out, so it'll just randomly pop out little squares. And then so if you have like perfect lines, it'll pop out little squares here and there, so then you don't have your lines anymore. There's one where you can't rotate your blocks or your tetrinos or whatever. So
Dominoes?
your dominoes, yeah. So as you know, if you have like a bad one coming out, like, and you can't put away, you can't save in this mode. So like if you have a shitty one coming down and it's gonna screw up your whole like setup, you can't hit like the bumpers to put it away. It's just like you're stuck with it. And then I think there's one that turns up the speed, I think I remember, but I don't remember, but it's a pretty fun mode. The other version of that mode is you versus an AI boss, which I haven't tried, but I think I want to. I've just been having a good time with it. I think it's a really just cool spin on Tetris that I haven't played before, especially the connected part. That was really fun. And damn, I wish it was in. I mean, I wish this version of it was in VR because I would get a kick out of playing the connected parts of it in VR. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I wonder if the PC version is VR. I haven't looked into that.
Oh, that might be something to look at. Yeah, that would be
I'll
pretty
get
cool.
that on my Quest, man. Whew.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. What do you think? I mean, are you a big Tetris fan?
Oh god, I hate Tetris. I think Tetris is one of the most overrated games. Not that it's bad, but I don't get it. I've never understood Tetris. It's just confusing to me. I don't understand. It's mildly fun. I do enjoy it. Is satisfying to like make lines and stuff. But
Yeah.
I beat that 3rd level, which is the 3rd board, not even the 3rd level, the 3rd board of it. And I was like, I'm good. I don't need to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
fine.
I feel you on that. Like, to me, Tetris is always boring, and I
I
think,
like the music. It
oh
does really
yeah,
cool stuff
the
where
music is
you'll get
awesome.
like 12 lines and then like the vocal track kicks in. And like that's really cool, but
Yeah.
I don't need this Tetris part. I might just turn it to easy to experience the music and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think back to when I was a kid and I played Tetris, and I was like, this is boring as fuck. Why do I have this game? Why did I get punished with this fucking game? And then I think like they've put a spin on Tetris multiple times that I've seen here and there, and I keep thinking to myself like okay, I kind of like Tetris. I think it's an okay puzzle game, but it's also
Yeah.
like really based on your skill of RNG, like what are you gonna do with what you're dealt with, kind of. But like, there's definitely better puzzle games. But something about what they did with the music and the visuals in this is just so cool to me. It's like so crazy that it really does make a difference on how I feel playing this version of Tetris compared to like all the other fucking versions of Tetris. Like Tetris 99 to me was okay, but I didn't think it was a very good version of Tetris.
Okay.
And I guess I mean I might not really know what a good version of Tetris is because I haven't played all of them, but like I think the version there was like a Tetris, I think it was Tetris Attacks on mobile that I played that was to me felt better than Tetris 99. Also got really stressed out playing Tetris 99 where this, even though it's like some of the levels are like, oh man, this is really fast. I'm not stressing out about it. Like I'm actually having fun trying to figure out how to beat this board with like at speed 12 with the blocks literally just falling at like massive speeds and I'm just like trying to figure out where to place them. It's insane. It's
Yeah.
chaotic, but yeah. Did you want to talk about Yakuza Like a Dragon?
Oh boy.
Cisco in it? I feel like Cisco would have to be in that.
No, I mean, not yet. I don't
God,
know.
what a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I'll let Japan know they messed up. So this is Yakuza Like a Dragon on the Series X. If I'd gotten the game a little sooner, I would have tested it out on Xbox One X to see kind of the difference, but nope. Um, it looks great, looks beautiful. I kind of mentioned that earlier. Every piece of clothing has this texture, like this really fabricy texture you can feel on it. It's really nice. Um, but that being said, the game is clearly a last gen game that's been high res textures and all that. I really like this game. I've played about 4 hours of it, maybe 4.
Okay.
And my only trepidation with that is that it's just, and Yakuza games have always done this. There's just a lot of cutscenes, man.
Mm.
It is probably the first 2 hours is almost 2 hours like a movie. You just sit
Oh
there and watch
wow.
a movie. And you move around every once in a while and go to the next thing, and you fight a guy every so often, and then you watch another cutscene. And you've probably heard the premise, which is like Ichiban takes the fall for a Yakuza boss,
Yeah,
basically, and
treated like
goes
garbage.
to goes to prison for 18 years, and then comes out. And that's what the game starts in air quotes. That's like 2.5 hours into the game, but starts there. That's the premise. But it sets up the characters so well. You know these people, you know their relationships with each other, and then it does that, which is again the premise of the game,
Hmm.
and that's done extremely well. The only problem is that it's like there's so many cutscenes, and I can only watch so many cutscenes before I go, all right, let's do something else. Like
Yeah.
let's do something else. And I'm getting to the point now where I kind of like, oh, I can do this mini game, or I could just go over here and fight battles if I want to, just to kind of break it up because it is a lot of cutscenes, a lot of cutscenes, and they're good. I'm playing it in Japanese, so the voice acting sounds good. I mean, I don't know, it sounds authentic. I'm playing a game in Japan about the Yakuza. I want it to be in Japanese. I don't know why you would. I don't. I don't understand that. I know people are excited. It has English, whatever.
Yeah.
That that's really stupid to me. I don't want to. If the movie's about France from a French filmmaker and it's originally in French, I want to watch it in French because that makes sense. You know,
Yeah.
like it's a little weird to. I understand not wanting to read subtitles sometimes. I get that, but that's not what this is. This is like Japan. I want Japan. So that sounds good. That's fine. The story is so well done, so funny, uh, really dark. It does some really because I can't really go into it, even though it's the first beginning of the game. But it does such a good job of establishing character for the main. I don't know if I'd even call him villain. He's clearly up to no good, but it's not like he's, at least at this point. It doesn't seem like he's out to conquer the world or something. Villain like JRPG villainous is not Kefka or something,
Yeah.
but they do a great job establishing him and his backstory, and then Ichiban's backstory. to the point like I'm in. I love this. Every new character you meet, I'm like, oh, you're a cool dude. What's this? What's this about? What's that about? Really into it. I do think it's funny that this is probably the first JRPG where the all the characters are like in their 40s. Like it's
Weird.
just
Yeah,
that weird.
that's weird. It'd be like it's like playing with a bunch of old men.
Yeah, like Ichiban 42, they've
Yeah.
mentioned. Because I was trying to do the math, and then the game eventually just said, like, I'm 42. Oh shit. Okay. He's 42. The other guy's 41. The other guy is probably older. I don't even know. Like, it's pretty funny. I think that's cool though, is as a way like we never get a JRPG or any really many games at all where you play as someone older than 30. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so that's neat, and that's a different perspective. Um, I guess being in the Yakuza is also a very different perspective, but I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I like the battle system. That's fun. I wish there was more of that. The game is very focused on the story and it's very good, but it is a lot. Especially at the beginning. I've heard it's very front loaded, and I'm getting to the point now where I can explore and do things and all that.
Yeah.
I do very much recommend it. I it's like with I played Judgment and I watched all the cutscenes. It's like it's very good. They do an incredible job. I was actually playing it thinking about Persona 4 or 5 or whatever. And I don't know how you could play Persona and then play this game and be like, well, Persona's better story. I'm like, there's no way. This game has the way it does its characters, the way it
Yeah.
unfolds the plot, it's so much better just because it's like actual motion capture and it's so much more cinematic. I really enjoy it. The characters aren't monologuing to themselves about Kamoshida for 25 minutes. Uh, it's so good. It's an excellent game so far. I will play more of it and see how it goes. Again, I would have played more, but
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed is just so good.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I
this
oh good.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say everything I've heard from like other podcasts about Yakuza like has made me want to play the other ones, and then hearing more about this one is like maybe I should just wait and then start with this because like the games are so long. Like if I go and try to start with one of the older ones and then try to jump into this when I get my new console eventually, like I feel like it'd be too much when of like too much of
Right.
the same thing, too much of the same world, I guess maybe.
You're
But
not gonna get there. There's 7 other
yeah,
games actually because
yeah.
zero.
Yeah, well, if anything, I'd start with Zero, because I heard that's a good starting point, especially that one's on Game Pass, so I could always start there.
Right.
But I don't know. I think I'd rather wait and just get into Yakuza 7. And I think to kind of speak on the comparison, like about people saying that Persona 5 is still better. I think people are so attached to the characters in Persona 5 that like
Sure.
that they don't really like the game is so stylistic too in a certain way, and the music's really good that I think overall, like people are more attached to that than they are the actual story of the game. Like the story's good in Persona 5, like you're, taking down people's bad hearts and shit like that. But like everything I've heard of of Yakuza, just the games in general, and even like this one, like it sounds like this has more of like a just interesting, fun story to follow. Like there's just so much more shit going on that
Right.
really like you get involved in that to me might end up not to say like it's instantly better than Persona 5, but like I think for people that are really in love with Persona 5 and kind of have those blinders on that they it's there's a lot to be other RPGs that are better. Like I think people
Right.
need to calm down.
I
Yeah,
just think the writing in Persona 5 is like fine.
it's just so anime is the problem. Like
It's
those characters
very
are so
anime.
overly
This is
anime,
anime
which is
too,
true. And this is anime, but like in a silly way. Like a lot of the
but
stuff in
it's
it.
very serious. Like you get shot. I mean, you take the fall for a dude who murdered someone and go to prison for 18 years. Like it, that's not silly.
Well, not that part, but I mean like the surrounding stuff, like the
it, it
stuff you do in town and stuff
it
like that.
does. I mean, and the Yakuza
Yeah,
series has that sense of
has the fun
humor, that
part.
campy, goofy style where the one guy who you end up like kind of living with these homeless people for a while as you get back on your feet because the shit happened. And he throws a bunch of seeds at the enemy, and a bunch of birds flock and attack him. Like that's silly and goofy, but also like it deals with serious issues of homelessness and like, oh, they can't get a job because they don't have an address, and it's not like they're just lazy. They just felt like the world fucked them. They got screwed, and it goes into that, and I feel like the writing is so much better, and it's so the problem with Persona is it's not succinct. It needs there's no subtlety, there's no subtext in Persona writing for me. It's just beats you over the head with it, and it won't shut up.
Hmm.
What Yakuza does is feels natural. It feels like these people are actually there just talking, and yeah, they're goofy. And I sent you a screenshot of like this guy's teaching me how to use a cell phone. You have to get in line. Like it's dumb, but it all works and fits, and it feels earnest, and it doesn't belabor the point like I do constantly throughout the show. It's so good. I really, I that's why I bring up Personas. Like, if you love Persona and want a JRPG, I would recommend this simply because it does have a strong cast of characters. It is a lot of that story. You know, there's a lot of meat to get through here, and now we have a fun JRPG battle system because I hated the combat system of all the Yakuza games. I do not like that, but I like the story. And now with a JRPG system, I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly what it fits so well. The JRPG ness fits perfectly with this series. It's funny. You could almost play this game and then play the other ones and be like, oh, why'd they make it an action game? That's weird. Because it fits. It fits so
Yeah.
well. Like, it makes total sense for enemies to be in this room and you have to fight them because like that's how JRPGs work. Like there's dudes there in the sewer and you have to fight them. Like it's so cool. I just can't wait to see more of it and get through the story. I'll probably have this from GameFly for like a month and a half because it's just gonna take forever.
Shout out to
Um,
Gamefly.
Shout out to GameFly. Yeah, it's I do recommend it highly, and I'll have more probably next week. I'll play more.
All right, sounds good. Let's
Tell me
see.
about Fallout. What are you doing in Fallout?
So I jumped back into Fallout 76 because I was just like, kind of like I was saying earlier, I felt lost. I felt like in this
Have you heard about
purgatory.
Christ?
Yeah, I heard of
No,
that guy.
not that lost.
No, not that lost.
Okay.
Haven't hit rock bottom yet. But
Yes,
I was like,
Ichiban has.
I'm like lost, so I felt like I'm just wandering. Why don't I play something where I get to wander and kind of do shit? So I loaded up Fallout
Do this.
76. They've got an update coming out pretty soon. I think the Brotherhood of Steel is gonna be coming into the game. Which no, actually, they're already kind of there. I think they're
Oh,
gonna
on
be
Game
more.
Pass. Hey, hold on. This game's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
We could play this game.
Uh, yeah. I mean, yeah, we can. I've been playing it on PS4 though, so my save won't carry it. But they're supposed to be doing crossplay soon, I think.
Okay, all right.
So, but yeah. So I just wanted to jump in and kind of check it out, and the game runs a lot better now. Like I feel like it's running a lot better. They've added, the last update I checked out was when they added the NPCs, and that's still there. That's still cool. You can pick up missions and side quests and stuff like that. That's all fun. I think my problem with this game is I feel like it takes too long to level. So
Okay.
and I think I got just tired of struggling so much because like I'm low on stim packs, I'm low on ammo, my guns are breaking, I'm not finding the loot I need, and there's just so many enemies everywhere I go, and then like I'm like walking to this quest, which is I'm level 16, so I'm like, cool, I'm walking this quest. A lot of the stuff is like leveled down to you. But then there's like these weird frog things that are just spitting fire at me, and it's like almost killing me instantly, and I don't have
Mm-hmm.
stim packs like to just waste. So I'm like, here, there's more struggle here. And so like it kind of stopped being fun after a little bit. So I still plan on playing it. I just like had to take a break from it because I was like, this is not helping my stress level here. And that's when I jumped back into Tetris, and I was like, okay, I'm having a good time here with Tetris. But yeah, I just I for some reason the game just felt a lot better. Like it's just running better. I don't know if
Okay,
it's something
that's
that they
good to hear.
did. Yeah, I don't know if it's something they did or if it's just like there's a lot less shit on my PS4 now, so I don't know. I just feel like it ran a lot smoother this time.
It just has. I have so much room in this
There's
hard
so much
drive now.
room, yeah. I wanted to talk about Destiny 2 Beyond Light really quick. So
Oh, that's right.
yeah, so I haven't played Destiny 2 since the first expansion came out, or yeah, first DLC came out, which sucked. This when I was really into Destiny 2 was when it was really disappointing, and that's when I stopped playing it. And before, like, Forsaken was like the big kind of like revive for Destiny 2, and then after that was Shadowkeep. And so, and I had thought like, oh, maybe I can go back and play that, and I just decided not to. Um, and then I noticed that Beyond Light was for free, and it's the newest expansion that just came out, was for free on Game Pass, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot. I've been hearing good things about it. Everyone's excited about Beyond Light because it's like it's their first really big um expansion since Bungie became like independent from
Right.
Activision. So this is like them. This is all them basically, and plus it's all free on Game Pass. So why the hell not? So I jump in, and so far the storyline is pretty cool. I guess what had happened at the end of the last season, because now they do seasons instead of it just being like expansions. Um, a few planets went missing.
How do you lose that?
I don't know. Like, I guess I missed out on a lot apparently, but so a few planets went missing, and you're like trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So, and you find this guy named Varix, and so you're following basically his instructions on what to do, because now there's like this weird like faction from the Fallen that have these weird stasis abilities, so they're shooting ice and shit like that. And the only way you can really combat it is by also kind of going into the darkness, they say. I don't know, this all sounds really weird, but so you start kind of showing those abilities too, which they're really freaking cool. Like, basically the special that the hunter has is to like float up in the air and throw ice picks. Like,
Ooh.
they're pretty cool, and that storyline is pretty cool, and I like it so far. I'm having a hard time playing it by myself because some of like I'm in the middle of this quest or mission or whatever, and the boss battle is just you in an arena, and he's constantly spawning ads, and I get so close to beating him, and then I'll get like he'll freeze me, and then I get sniped, and then I have to start all the way from the beginning of that boss fight. So
Mm.
But one cool thing that I always like to do when I play Destiny is it gets me back into listening to Fireteam Chat, which is Dustin Legary from IGN's Destiny podcast. And even when I kind of had stopped playing Destiny, I always still listen to that podcast. And going back and listening to them for like the first time in a long time was really cool. And just hearing like the good things that they like about it, the bad things, like how stasis is basically broken PvP, because how the fuck can you really like survive when you're getting frozen in place and then getting sniped or killed? Like, so that it's all interesting now. So Destiny is like kind of, it's not like fully back into like where I'm gonna jump back in. I'm like, oh, I'm so obsessed. It's just like I want to casually just play the campaign because it still feels like a really good shooter. When I go back and play Halo, like, I was hoping to get this feeling of like, oh man, this is such a good shooter, and I don't get that. I get bored. Where when I was playing Destiny 2, I had those feelings back of like, man, this is a great shooter. This feels so good. The mechanics are great. The shooting is great. The world is cool again. Like, it's not boring like it used to be. So I don't know. Just thought I'd say a little bit about it because it's like the Beyond Light thing is Bungie's, like, it's theirs. It's kind of like their thing that they have been wanting to do for so long, and it's just really cool to see it kind of come out. And the one thing I will always complain about with Destiny, they never add a new enemy like type, or not type. I guess like they have the Fallen, and there's like shit. I don't even remember the other ones anymore. But basically, there's always like three factions of enemies, and then they just make like different types of those. Like, oh, this one, these are infected with this, and that's why they're different this expansion. These are infected with this. So they never add a new like enemy class. or a new enemy faction. It's always just like it's always the same recycled enemies over and over again, just like with different abilities.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, and we were hoping to see that, which they didn't do it. Maybe next time, but they did add new like types of enemies for those factions. Like there's this one giant robot thing with like weird laser wings that is kind of scary to fight because he'll actually jump and dash at you from the air, and he's huge. So it's like it's almost like a one-hit kill if he hits you. Um but yeah, I'm interested. I heard the loot sucks because you're not getting a lot of cool loot, and I heard that yeah, multiplayer's broken. So
Yeah.
yeah, other than that, I'm having a good time. I'm playing it kind of slowly and casually, and yeah, that's all I got to say about
All right.
Destiny 2.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Any other games you want to talk about?
Um. Oh, I do want to mention. I finished Crisis 2, since now I'm playing all the Crisis games, and Crisis 2 is awesome. I really enjoy it. Some of those set piece moments in it, where like the ground is crumbling and just crazy shit's going on, are straight out of an Uncharted game. So
Nice.
cool, so well done. I could show several screenshots of this game running at 4K max settings. It's a 9-year-old game, um, but still, uh, and you'd think it was a modern game. You would think like, oh, that's a PS4 game, cool. Like,
Nice.
and you would not be, and you would almost think it's like, oh, is that an upscaled version on PS5? Like, it looks really good the vast majority of the time. There are certain things, if you get real close, you're like, well, the geometry is kind of low poly, or that texture is not super great, but it holds up remarkably well in terms of that, and also in terms of gameplay. I really enjoyed it. There are several sections I wrote down survival horror on my notes where some of the aliens, you end up fighting a lot of aliens. It's like Crisis 1, where the last half of the game is a shooter. They kind of do that again. It's very linear. I know people don't like that. Whatever. I understand. It's a 9-year-old game. I'm not going to hear your arguments against Crisis 2 now.
Yeah, they
It's
kind of don't
fine.
matter at this point.
It's kind of, yeah, I understand you're upset. It was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm playing it as an idiot, not 9 years later. So okay. I still really liked it. A lot of the enemies, there's like this big tank, beefy dude. That's the survival horror enemy where you're like circling around him and you keep shooting him and he's coming after you with this mini gun. It was really cool. And I enjoyed the ride of the story. And I'm actually super excited to play Crisis 3 because it takes place like in the city environment, but overrun with weeds and plants. I guess not weeds. Weeds is probably the worst example. Trees and vines. Weeds. There's so many
Why are you
weeds.
putting weeds in here?
Oh no, put all these weeds in this
Got them
city.
damn weeds?
So that's really cool. And I also, when I was looking up Crisis 3, there's these screenshots of someone running the game in 8K just to see what it looked like, and they look bonkers. So I'm so excited to play that game now that I could probably play it at a relatively high level, and enjoy the graphics, because these games are known for just destroying PCs. So
Yeah.
yes, I will wait 6 years after a game comes out to play it on my PC.
Yeah.
Now
Why
it's
not?
reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Crisis 2. I highly recommend the Crisis series. I think it's vastly underrated and no one talks about it. And I don't even know why I started playing him at this point. Oh, it was on sale. That's why.
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't remember why you started playing them, but
Well, I
it just
put
kind
the
of
first
happened.
sale, and I bought Crisis 2 in 2011. And I bought Crisis 3 in 2000 whatever when it came out. And I tried to play. I looked at my Origin thing and it says I played it for 5 hours. I'm like, there's no way. I don't remember playing it once. I think I remember booting it and being like, "This runs like shit. I can't play it," and then I stopped. But apparently, that was for 5 hours. I don't know. We'll
Hmm.
see. But I'm not going to play that for. That will probably be in January when I'm done with Yakuza and Assassin's Creed and Cyberpunk and yeah. But yeah, Crisis is great. Highly
Cool.
recommend it.
All right.
That's it.
All right. Well, I don't think I have much else either.
I said that.
All right.
That.
Yeah. Well, um, I don't have much other things that I plan on playing this week. I've been thinking about what games I want to play, and like I jump around a lot right now because I'm so like just like trying to find something. Like
Right.
I think I have every time I finish like a game, I have a hard time sticking to another one. So like once I finished Uncharted 4, I just started bouncing around a lot. So I think I'll find something eventually, but like the last thing I wanted to play was Control, but then I told myself like just save it for like the PlayStation 5. Like there's no reason to have to deal with those fucking load screens. Just wait for the PlayStation 5 version, like for that to come out or for the PlayStation 5 to be here.
Right.
Anyways. And then so I play like League here and there. I play TFT. I played Apex on because the Steam version came out and the newest season came out. So I jumped in, tried that out, and that's the new map is really cool. I don't have any of the new heroes because it doesn't link up. It didn't link up my account from like the PS4, which I thought it would, but
Huh.
it's fine. Not really missing the characters that I did unlock because I don't use them anyways. I usually stick to the
Right.
ones that I already had. So, but that game's still cool. Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 has like I think like a free 96 hours
Ugh.
right now. So I jumped in and did a couple quests, and I was like, man, this game is still really good. I just wish I had the time. I wish I had the time and commitment to like play it, but I just don't.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Anyways, anything you're up to this week?
No. Valhalla and Yakuza. That's
All right.
it.
All right. Well, I'll be streaming throughout the week here and there. I'm not sure exactly what I'll play, but I'll find something to play. And I guess that's it for us.
That's it. All right.
All right. Well, we'll catch you guys next
All right.
week. Thanks again for listening to the show, being here. Make sure you guys head over to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, thegamefanatics.com, Spotify. If you don't subscribe to the podcast, make sure you do there so that you can catch the new episodes when they upload. Can't think of anything else. Yeah. Man, my brain is like dead at this point. But anyways, we will catch you guys next week. Goodbye.